Well, this week, guys, we're going to talk about finding time for fitness. Just to go over what we talked about last week for a second, we were talking about managing stress. Does anybody have any questions about what we talked about last week? All right. Does anybody want to talk about the action plan that they made about getting in 150 minutes of activity? Anybody want to talk about what went well or what didn't go so well? Okay. So just to reiterate, some ways to reduce your stress is to just say no, asking for help, keeping things in order, getting enough sleep, having fun, of course, and setting small, doable goals to take care of yourself. And, of course, things like yoga, just going and taking a deep breath, cutting back on caffeine, those things are good, healthy ways to help you cope with stress. And when you're making your action plans, just remember to be specific and flexible. Okay, so we'll move on to this week's stuff. All right, how do I move to the next slide? There we go. There's my recap, guys, in case I didn't flip it over in time. All right, and this is just a sample action plan for you guys in case anybody did have trouble making some stuff from last week. You know, just put what you'll do, make it as specific as you can be. That way, you're not having to think about it more. You can just go ahead and get prepared and get it done. All right, this week we're going to talk about some benefits to being active, the challenge of fitting in fitness, and how to find time for fitness. All right, some things that being active can help you do, of course, lose weight, and then lower your blood sugar, help your mood. I know it helps my mood, improve your balance and flexibility, lower your heart attack and stroke, lower your stress level, energy level, and help us to get stronger muscles. So does anybody want to point out any other benefits of being active? So the biggest one for me is lowering my stress level. I know it helps tremendously. I think we're all stressed out a little bit more than normal due to COVID, but yeah. So as everybody knows, this program wants you to work out 150 minutes a week at a moderate pace or more. That's about 2.5 hours. So to know if we're going at a moderate pace or not, you can do what we call the SING test. And that means while you're doing the activity, you can talk to somebody, but you're not losing your breath. You're not losing so much. You're not losing your breath so much you can't talk to somebody, but you can't sing. Another good way to know if you're doing a moderate amount of activity is you want to have a light sweat after 10 minutes. And you can also get one of those heart rate monitors. So it can be challenging to find time for us to reach our fitness goals. For example, let's turn to Mark's story so we can read that. So Mark is at risk for type 2 diabetes. His doctor asked him to get at least 150 minutes of activity each week at a moderate pace or more, but Mark is a busy guy. On weekdays, Mark takes care of his grandkids while their parents are at work. On the weekends, he works at the library. In the evening, he likes to relax by watching TV. Mark is having trouble finding time to reach his fitness goals. Mark decides it's time to make some changes. These days, he gets up 30 minutes sooner so he can take a morning walk. He lifts weights or marches in place while he watches TV. He plays soccer with his grandkids, and it's great exercise for all of them. Plus, it's fun. Mark is finally reaching his fitness goal. So what are some challenges you guys are coping with when you're trying to find time for fitness?
I just have a busy schedule every day.
Yeah, I think that's been a big challenge for me too, since starting the fellowship, as finding time for fitness. But um, the thing that I try to do is just even if I have to cut it into 5 minute sessions at home during my last hour of the day, just at least like jog in place during exercise or do some jog in place during commercials when I'm watching a TV show to get a little exercise. Um, at least for those commercials, because if you do six 5 minutes commercials, that's 30 minutes a day. Um, yeah, and I've had to actually start working out in the morning time because I've realized that I'm too tired at the end of the day. So it just makes it easier to do it when it's convenient for you, of course, but you don't want to set yourself up for failure by trying to do it at the time you're most exerted at the end of the day. So we've talked about the challenges of finding time for fitness, and finding a way to reach your goal. So let's brainstorm some ways we could fit activities into our daily lives. So what are some ways to fit in fitness anytime? Just a couple of samples. Schedule it, of course, according to your schedule. And don't think you have to just do it all at once. Commit. Some people might find that easier, but I think just tweaking your schedule a little bit to make it work and set yourself up for success is a big deal.
One thing that may help with all these Zoom and WebEx meetings and all, and even right now, uh, somebody could be using their stretchy bands or walking or kind of doing two things at once that maybe in a regular live meeting you couldn't necessarily
Yeah,
do. But for some of those that like to have those lunchtime meetings and you like to walk during lunch during your day, you may could still walk in place or do some type activities and make use of the Zoom, which everybody has to use a lot now. And hopefully daylight savings time will give some people that have the afternoons more free time to walk a little more daylight. If it's not, too tiring for them at the end of their day, if their schedule's different, at least gives them some daylight.
yeah. And I've seen a lot of people when I've been at clinics, women who will hold like a weight in one arm while they do their charting, and then kind of do their other arm while they're talking to somebody, just kind of throughout the day. But just a couple more ideas. Park your car further away. Pretty simple. Or walk or ride to your destination. I know we don't really live in a walkable city, but you could do that at Walmart. Just going to Walmart, walking from the back of the parking lot every time you go get groceries or something. So also I wanted to talk about some fitness apps or trackers. I know we've talked about them before, but the Lose It app, I think we've discussed ways to keep up with your fitness, and those apps will actually give you a little reminder if you set it each day. Runkeeper and the Sweat app are all good apps to try to find different fitness types and things that you are interested in. Does anybody have any ways that they like to fit in fitness during their day? Does anybody use any of these?
I like to walk during lunch.
Yeah. I actually just now, since I've been at neurology clinic, got to walk for the first time during lunch because I actually got my morning stuff finished on time. So yeah, that was really nice.
I try to take the
From
stairs
the
when I can.
Yeah, that's a great idea too. So just a couple of other ideas, ways to fit in your fitness. Get off the bus a step early. Park your car further away. walk or ride your bike to fit in fitness while you're watching TV, dance, lift weights, march in place. And then to get fitness while you get things done, move briskly while you rake your lawn, sweep your floor, or walk your dog.
From the chat section, Angel commented that she would stand and sit at different times because I know she got in her desk that goes up and down, and she also has like one of those little pedal machines under her desk. So even if she's having to sit at the moment, it's kind of like riding a little bike in there.
Yeah, that's
which
actually a great
takes
idea.
advantage of while doing all those online modules that y'all do for didactic. You can do that.
Exactly. Kill two birds with one stone. All right. So what are some ways to fit in fitness while we socialize? I know we're not getting to do a lot of socializing right now, but there are some ways. You can join a walking club, take a fitness class like at the wellness center here, talk to a friend on the phone while you march in place, walk or climb stairs, walk with a family member or friend. Oh yeah, march in place, somebody said. Ways to fit fitness in at work: join a nearby gym, walk briskly during your lunch break, take part in a fitness program at work, walk around or march in place while you're on the phone, just like we all said. All right, everybody, please look at your action plan journal, and then we're going to spend the next few minutes making a new action plan. Keep in mind what we worked on last week and in the last session, and then as you're doing your fitness plans, make sure that you make it realistic, doable, specific, flexible, and remember to just really hone down on those behaviors, but mostly just try to have fun. And does anybody want to mention anything else?
What are your thoughts on, we mentioned it's 2.5 hours a week, 150 minutes a week. What are your thoughts on spacing it evenly across the week, 30 minutes a day, or like the weekend warriors who do work sometimes crazy shifts during the week, and try to catch up on the weekend and do a lot of working out on the weekend? Is either way just perfectly wonderful, or is it better to space it out and get some activity every day? What would be your thoughts for people that do work long hours during the week, or long hours this week but not next week, and they have more time next week?
I would say on your busy days, try to get the 30 minutes in, if you have time. And then if some people want to make it up on the weekend, that would be great. Personally, I think in the past, I've been more successful like having a set schedule at the beginning of the week, no matter what it is, as long as I just put it in my head, this is the way I'm going to do it, that usually works out for me.
I know that I was talking to somebody this week in my family, and they, I guess, have a watch or whatever that they track things, but they work in one of these factories, and they're there 12-hour shifts when they're there. And it's not 7 on, 7 off. It's like a 3-2 back and forth. But sometimes at work, they calculated they have done as much as 9 miles of walking, because they're one that has to check on things throughout the facility. So some people actually get more exercise in at work, depending on how active the job is and how spread out the requirements are. But they track theirs every day, and just thought that was interesting, trying to get the 10,000 steps we sometimes think about is, I think, 5 miles, but they would get 9 on their busiest day.
Wow, that's a lot of walking. I know some days a lot of days I don't reach my 10,000 steps while I'm here. But yeah, it doesn't matter how you do it, guys. Just make sure that you get those 150 minutes in. You can do 10 minutes 3 times a day, 30 minutes every day, however you want to do it. You could, technically, they don't specify that you couldn't try to shove it in over the weekend if you wanted to. If that's what works best for you, just try to meet your goal the best you can. That's as important.
From the chat room, somebody's mentioning, because it's spring now almost and planting season for flowers and shrubs, that it doesn't have to be just plain walking. If you're out working in your yard, mowing, planting things, that activity counts. So it's almost any type of activity that you do at a moderate pace, I guess. And some of that can be some fairly heavy lifting and moving if you're spreading mulch and planting and digging with a shovel and things like that.
Yeah. I know that's probably the hardest work out of the year that I do, is when we get in the gardens and start cleaning stuff out. So anything else anybody wanted to add? All right, next time we're going to talk about the things you tried at home and your action plan, and then we're going to talk about some coping and some triggers. Thanks everybody for coming. That's it.
Anybody need to add anything or any comments? Just encourage everybody to stay as active as many days as possible as they can, but still allow yourself to recuperate from any specific muscle training that you're doing. There sometimes needs to be rest in between, so to prevent a further injury if you have an injury. So think of that. But some days it's plain walking, sometimes it's more active, but just in any way that you can get that embedded into your day and life to where it's just natural. You don't have to think so much about it. You still plan your exercise, but as much just physical activity that can be your life is great. We will have this posted on the website for all to watch who maybe couldn't be here this evening. And you'll be able to access that, and we'll put the slides back on the K drive for the fellows as well. And as Dr. Rayford always says, we'll give you back some of your day and minutes as we finish early.